Something little reported on, we delve into the collective savings of the working people.
Second thing is, there was an old idea that is now long forgotten in development theory, and that's the idea of the social wage. Everybody contributes to building a society. Everybody works in some way, and they pay taxes, or they pay in some way, maybe by not taking wages. If I'm a housewife and I'm working to raise a family, my lack of taking wages is actually a tax I'm paying to the government. Meaning, because I don't claim money for, monetary recompense for what I'm doing, I'm in a sense doing free work. I'm doing kurvi labor, like serfdom for the government, because I'm raising citizens for free. That's a form of taxation. So everybody, whether you get a wage or not, is paying into a social fund. And that social fund is a social wage. It's deferred compensation. Rather than take compensation, I'm deferring it. Well, that social wage should not be used to attract one company or another company to fight between two jurisdictions, one city fighting with another city saying, we will give you tax breaks, you come and make your firm here, don't go over there. By using your social wage in that way, you're squandering the deferred compensation that people have not been paid for the work they're doing by giving it to companies. In other words, you're taking from the poor and paying corporations. You're taking from workers and paying corporations. It's an amazingly bizarre way of spending the social wage. But if you actually understand taxes and deferred compensation in general as a social wage, then that should be utilized to fulfill the livelihood challenges of people. If you create public transportation, if you create public education, if you create good, up to the best modern science, public health care, if you do all these things, then the cost burden on ordinary people is reduced. If an individual is getting a certain salary or wage, they are responsible. We've privatized so many costs. They are responsible for buying a private car, they have to pay private insurance, they have to pay private tuition, pay this, pay that. By the end of it, their wages disappear, because they are paying for things that actually could be socialized, that could be provided by a wage, a social wage, which they've already contributed to. It's not that this wage comes from disproportionate taxes being taken from the rich. It's not necessarily a redistributive mechanism. It's actually a better way to spend the collective savings of working people. So the social wage has to be a core principle of any new policy agenda put forward. So I would say institutional access to basic needs, a social wage, these have to be very important.